Hi everyone, it's me, the one and only Karen Sparkle, or the Sparkle Girl. So today, I would just like to say that I'm going to talk about all about me. Sharing some few little information that you might be interested. And I might as well share my hobbies, things that I have interest in. But I would just say I might as well share some of the things that I don't like. So you get what I mean. So, what I'm saying that some of those things that I have seen loads of people do it, and that, so yeah, so don't get me wrong, because people just likes to make an introductions about themselves, because I do that all the time whilst in high school. So, let's just say, I remember in high school, and we all used to do this sort of thing as a lesson sometimes, and we make them on the PowerPoint, but few little details about ourselves and then talking about some of the history of ourselves on what we like and don't like, something like that, if you know what I mean, or if you know what I'm saying. So you obviously know what I'm going to do here. So, I'm going to start by my name. My name is Caitlin. Yeah, that's my real name. So now you all know that my real name is Caitlin. But I call myself Caitlin Sparkle as a nickname. And it's not just because I like to add a sparkle, but I just kind of like to something, make my name more creative, imagination. And I just say I am quite smart, so don't get me wrong. Yes. And I just really love the name Sparkle, if you get what I mean. And yes, I am a huge fan of Twilight Sparkle after all from Pony. So yeah, it is kind of obvious that since I have been mentioning her like a few times already, it's in almost my videos and that when I do review. So okay, so and speaking of about my name, I sometimes just feel like I wanted to change my name sometimes. Not really change my name. So what I meant, like give myself a nickname because I like to give myself a nickname because I've seen loads of people calling themselves nicknames. So yeah. And and speaking of which, did I ever mention or did I forgot that I kind of give my best friend Sophie a nickname? And I call herself Sophie Pan because it's kind of obvious for me and Sophie herself that she is a true fan of Peter Pan. Like I'm a true fan of My Little Pony. Yeah. So yeah, if you get what I mean, that's how you guys start by talking about yourself when doing introducing. So yeah. And I won't mention my age because I kind of feel uncomfortable about it. Like uncomfortable. Yes. Okay. Okay, skip that. And I'm actually from United Kingdom, in case you guys ask. And I know some of you probably might thought I sound a bit, American. Sorry, guys, but I had to break this up with you. But I'm British. I may not sound like I am in my recording, but that's just the way I sound like. So I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I definitely am British because I am from United Kingdom and Liverpool. Yeah, but that's it. No more. Okay. Okay. So if you wanted to know what I look like in real life, I have brown hair, and yes, not just brown though. Well, I was born with brown anyway, but as I grew up, I decided to have some more like little long tips in my hair because you guys might find it a bit funny or weird, whatever, but I kind of have this obsession of by asking my mom, can I have my hair dyed one day, mom? And she said, well, I don't know, something like that. But I just said, well, you got to accept one day, mom, because I'll not always be a kid forever. So, something like that. So, well, can't possibly blame my mom for worried about me might mess with my hair, like or anything like that. But I'm not like that. I'm not like any girls who always like mess with their fancy hairs or anything, because that's not really me. Unlike my big sister, because she always messes with her hair all the time. And she can be quite fussy, so don't get me wrong, but I'd rather not say that in front of her, though. She might get, oh, okay, I can't believe you just said that. Yeah, something like that. I'm sorry for saying it, but it's kind of true. Okay, sorry about it. Oh, and speaking about, like, about what I just said just then, I'm not really much a girly person as much as any other girl are. Let's just say, well, don't get me wrong, I am a bit quite of a girly person, because almost all of you guys seem to just describe me as a feminine person, because I like all things to be girly. So don't get me wrong, I am girly, but not all the time, if you get what I mean. And let's just say, and it's not because I am tomboy or anything. I'm not that type of person. Well, maybe a little bit, but not too much, because I'm not really into boy stuff, unlike to some girls. So I'm sorry for saying it, but I just had to say it, because that's just the way I am, if you get what I mean. And yes, that's just the way I am, and that's just a part of life. And I know there are some few different girls around the world can have different opinions, different beliefs and opinions and all kinds. Yeah, so don't get me wrong about that. And that's the same thing about why I like the color pink, for a reason. Pink is so me. Actually, I got that line from Brittany from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, I just kind of like the way she said it. Pink is so me. Okay, give me a break, Brittany. Okay, sorry. But don't get me wrong, like I keep saying it. Brittany is my favorite character, although I also like Jeanette and Eleanor. I just like the girls all together, if I had to be honest with you guys. So yeah, whew, oh yes. And I don't mind some boys, I think, in cartoons, and don't mind some in real life as well. Although I do got some boy mates in real life, so don't blame me for that. And yes, I just kind of think like sometimes boys can be nice and sometimes they can be mean. But let's just say, I'm not saying it to be harsh or anything, but sometimes it can be true sometimes, if you get what I mean here. And yes, I don't usually into boys as far as a kid, so don't possibly like get me wrong about that. Because as a kid, I did used to kind of find boys quite annoying. Well, that's just us. It's both girls and boys always do this like all the time while growing up. Like, like girls always said, "Oh, I don't like boys," and boys will always go like, "Oh, I don't like girls." I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, what's the big difference? We both are the same people, but different gender, if you get what I mean, because we are humans after all, aren't we? So I'm just saying, but I'm not. But like I said, I'm not here to judge or being, you know, critic. I'm just saying it that there can be trees sometimes about girls saying these things about boys and boys saying the same thing about girls. So yeah. Although I do got some big crushes on some of the boys, really. Well, not in real life though. Ugh, disgusting. Sorry. Only in some of the cartoons, of course. Like Adrian Agrest from Miraculous Ladybug. Yeah, tell me about it, because he's just so handsome and every girl around the world just fancy him. And not just me, of course, so don't get me wrong. Oh, and there's also a few things that I might need to mention, that I have autism, meaning that I'm not always, able to answer straight away, and I do sometimes might act angry, like a little bit. Like, I'm usually quite sensitive when something's a bit too offensive or anything. I get like, oh, I don't like that, I don't like this, I don't like that, something like that. But don't worry, I'm calm. So don't panic, guys. I just want to make sure you guys don't get to the wrong stick. And yes, I just think, and yes, I do have disability as well, but the same thing as autism, but Yeah. And it's just that the thing is, I don't want to bore you guys about it though, but I wanted to say that I not usually, like look straight to the eye when someone talks to me or something, whatever, or if I talking to them or something like that. It's kind of hard sometimes, but I'm actually get used to it now. But what I mean is that I try my best not to like like looking around when someone's talking to me or something. If you get what I mean, yeah. And I do go to like different primary schools as a kid, and now, well, let's just say there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Oh, I'm 5 because that includes my high school. Yes. And speaking about schools, there are some few good people that I'm actually friends with from my old primary schools or my high school, including my best friend Sophie. Actually, speaking about Sophie, I can always talk about Sophie because she's my best friend. Am I right? Okay, well, it's kind of obvious. Okay, I met Sophie in some of my old primary schools. Um, I would say it was my third school because no, sorry, my fourth one. Sorry, I got mixed up. Sorry. Okay, think. Okay. So yeah, I believe it has a different name at the time when I met Sophie until they changed the name into something else. Because if I remember correctly, we used to wear red when it has a different name, but when it changed it into a different name, we wear purple. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's kind of personal, and to keep myself safe, and you should guys should respect that I don't want it to, you know, you know, my this whole safety and all kinds. So yeah, don't get me wrong about that, and don't blame me for it though, because like I said, just then, I am quite sensitive about these things because I remember something on this thingy Facebook chat, and there's loads of people are talking about, well, can't get my head straight. So all I'm saying is that I did kind of tell those people that we shouldn't be talking about ourselves all the time because it's quite personal. If you get what I'm saying, yes. Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so as a kid, I have loads of things that I had done during the time. And speaking about being a kid, I did have a lot of things that I did used to do, as in like watching telly, playing DVDs, playing games and activities, or playing outside in the garden in my old house. Well, 2 seconds. Well, sorry, 2 old houses. Sorry. Yes. I just remember I used to live in a different area of Liverpool, but I don't, like I said, don't want to talk about that one. And yes. And yeah, I do remember my old bedroom, and I really miss that old room because it's just so, how you guys pronounce it? Nausea? Yeah, that's it, nausea. It's like another word for childhood. Yeah, something like that. Yes. And there's loads of things to talk about here because I just really miss being a kid sometimes. Okay. Don't worry, it's not because I'm sad. It's just talking about or thinking about being a kid again can give you a bit of nausea moments sometimes, so don't get me wrong. But I like being an adult as well, so obviously don't blame me for it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, oh yeah. And there's little things that I like to talk about, like my favorite hobbies, like singing. I rather not sing at all because I don't want you guys to judge my singing, so thank you. If you really want me to, I can always do it in the future, but not right now because, like I said, not too comfortable about it. Oh, and yes, I also like acting. Well, voice acting the most because I don't like doing the actual acting where you have to do those actions. Because I just say, speaking about acting, I did this sort of filming back in yours with me and, but my best friend and some other girls that I usually friends with. Yeah, and I just say it's something to do with like relationships sort of stuff, but I don't think you guys will be interested with that one. So yeah, I might share it on YouTube at some point. I don't know. I'm not too sure whether if it's allowed, but I'm gonna make sure I ask permission for doing so. Yeah. So anyway, I also like voice acting because I did mention just then. Because let's just say I've always loved cartoons. Every time I watch cartoons, that kind of things, I always imagine me being a cartoon character voicing and if you guys think about this, this one video I uploaded on my official channel, with my talking animation movement, something like that. If you get what I mean, that's just how you guys do when you voice in a character. Yeah. And speaking about that, I always wanted to be an animator one day because that's my dream. I've always wanted that to become true one day. I just love drawing. As, and not just because that, let's just say, drawing is just one of those favorite, best things I have ever liked since as a kid and still now. Yeah, tell me about it. And I might as well talk about animals because, let's just say, you guys might find it obvious that I do have pets, like Betty and Bella. Yeah. And Bella is right next to me at the moment, and she's probably thinking I'm talking to myself. Hello, Bella Boo Boo Boo. Okay. Yeah, we'll just say Betty and Bella, they have, well, let's just say I had them like for a long time now. Well, let's just say I had Betty since 2013, but Bella, I have her since 2020, and she's only a little baby when we first got her. Oh, and same thing for Betsy when we got her in 2013. Yeah, tell me about it. And speaking about that, I kind of remember it was one of my bestest friends, Hannah. It was her birthday at that moment on that day when my mom and dad picked me up from Hannah's party, and then we just went out on our way to you know see which dog we like to get one day, and we chose Betsy. The female dog, because, well, I'd rather not mention the other word because, well, my mom and dad did say to me before that it's okay to say it when we talk about dogs, but I'm not sure about that, really, for my personal opinion and thoughts, because I'm just quite sensitive with swearing, you know? Ugh. I know some of you guys like swearing, or some of you just swears or anything, but for me, I don't swear. And speaking about that, I have someone asking me a question about why do you don't like swearing? And I just said, well, it's because I'm quite sensitive, and I don't like swearing because it's rude. Well, some people may find it not rude, but to me it is because I just hope people can understand that I just really think that swearing should be banned. I'm sorry for saying it, guys, but I just really want this whole swearing to quit, and I'm sorry for saying it, but I just hope you can respect that I want this whole swearing business to stop, no matter what people say. I still think it should be banned for good because it's just not really appropriate for me. And and yes, I forgot to mention, and because of my autism, and now, well, not just because of my autism, but I do often get sensitive, like loud noises, like too much crowd of people or bangs or like something like that. And every time I go somewhere that can be a bit too loud, I get like, oh, I can't cope anymore. Can we go now? Or something like that. So yeah. I do take a break sometimes, but sometimes I just want to leave, Like, come on, really. Oh, and speaking about that, every time me and Sophie are in minibus with some of the other people in, every time they always put the music too loud, and every time we ask them, can you please turn it down? They keep saying that it's not loud, but it is. I don't know why they keep saying it's not loud when it actually is loud, because, and let's just say, like I said, my ears are quite too sensitive to loud music. Like, if you think about like concerts or discos, and yeah, actually, I did used to go to a disco before with yours, like every Monday, but I don't go on Mondays anymore because of it. So yeah, so like I said, I do go on the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with Sophie. And yes, and like I said, Sophie is not the only friend I have, though. I have some other friends, although Sophie is my first best friend. Actually, for my correction, I did have another friend sometimes long before Sophie. I had this friend called Gazelle, and she used to be my best friend from a different primary school before I moved to a different primary school, and that's where I met Sophie. So let's just say I haven't seen Gazelle since then. I do quite miss her at times. If Gazelle probably has ever saw me again, like growing up or anything, and and I'm not too sure if she knows that I have my channel on YouTube or something, and if she doesn't, that's totally fine. But if she ever did, she probably will like, she'll probably like, oh my god, Caitlin Sparkle, I'm so glad to see you again. Yeah. But don't worry, I'm not gonna upset anything, but I do miss her a lot. But she's not the only friend I have from that primary school, because I have another friend and her name is Amy. I remember what she looks like. I remember she used to wear like glasses, she has beautiful blonde hair, and she's quite taller than me, and she's a lot older than me as well. And I did used to go to her house all the time when I was a kid, but I haven't done that for years now, because she moved away. I don't know where she is now, and I do miss her a lot. Yeah. And and same thing for Gazelle. I just hope Amy can possibly still remember me. If she ever saw me on Facebook, and she probably saw me on YouTube or anything, or whatever, or Twitter or something, or Instagram, I don't know. But if she ever did, she'll probably say the same thing, or feel the same way. No. So yeah, these two are my bestest friends from that primary school until the next primary school where I met Sophie, and Sophie is my only first friend. Well, best friend. My very first best friend. And I know I keep repeating it, but I had to make sure I make sense so you guys can understand or how I try to explain here. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. And let's just say before that Sophie is not the only friend I have in life, because there are some others like Oliver, Sam. Oh yeah, these two boys, they're quite funny. Yeah, they're quite a charm. Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong, they can be a bit cheeky sometimes, but in a good way, because they always like to, like tease me and Sophie, like sometimes. Like when we're only like playing or sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of true, because I know Oliver and Sam, and they're both actually bestest mates anyway. Just the same way that me and Sophie are, bestest friends. And and speaking about best friends, me and Sophie, let's just say we do often call ourselves um, Sparkle, Dash, or Pan team, because that is our nickname after all. And that's just to say, it's my idea anyway, so why not? And there's also other people I am also friends with, like Chantel, Saoirse, Hannah, the Hannah that I have from my Sing Adults girls, and some of the other girls that I also know, well, actually, me and Sophie used to know from the primary school, and they are Jenny, Leah. Although I know Sarah, although Sophie never met Sarah, so yeah. And I did kind of told Sophie about everything about Sarah. Yeah, just to say that Sarah is really nice, but sometimes she can be a bit cheeky, like naughty, out of mischief, but in a good way, so don't get me wrong. But I'm not here to judge. Whew. Yeah, tell me about it. And I do miss Leah and Jenny and Zara, like, a lot. And I do miss Hannah as well, because she's also my best friend from the same school that, well, me and Sophie used to be before we went to college and yes, yeah, I miss Hannah so much. Oh, and there are also a few other people that I also do can consider as my friends, although I don't speak to them much, but they can be my friends anyway, like Daniel, and the other Daniel, who is my friend Oliver's friend, with well, I hate that. And there's two Toms that I know. Tom that some of you guys probably know on YouTube, and the other Tom that my friend Daniel knows as well. And there's Patrick, he can be my friend sometimes. And then there's Luke, yeah. He is nice, yeah, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't speak much if I remember correctly, but he does speak, so don't get me wrong though. But he still does speak, so don't, yeah. And yes, there are some few other boys that I'm not really friends with, but there are some good guys I do actually friends with, like Joe. But there are some few boys that I don't like from my class, like Jay. Well, I don't want to talk about it because like I said, I don't want to judge anything. So, okay. So, do you want to know about my hobbies? Well, okay. So you already know my favorite color, although I also like purple and blue and aqua. Yeah, I'll tell you that. I also like Disney, as in The Little Mermaid, Lilo and Stitch, and some others. And and I also like Miraculous Ladybug, as I like My Little Pony. Oh, and yes, I also like YouTube because YouTube is one of my favorite things in life, really. Although I don't always, go on Facebook all the time, or Twitter, or whatever, or Instagram. Only depends if I feel like it, but something like that. But I mostly like to go on YouTube because where you can actually make videos, edits, and yes, like where you can actually watch videos as well, and also commenting on YouTube. Like talking to some people, including you guys, because you're my friends. Yeah, I can consider some of you guys are my friends too, like Wizard Dude, Doshi, John Haven, Jelly Lily, Princess Rosa, and some others. Yeah, okay. And some of these videos I uploaded, these are the things that I personally like. And of course, there are some of what you guys like too, so don't get me wrong. Like I keep saying it every time. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also like Sophia the First. She's my favorite too. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot. I also like Super Bees, although I don't really actually watch it anymore. Although I do sometimes watch some of the older ones on YouTube from time to time, and it depends on the no share sort of feeling. And yes, I really missed the older CBBs because where they have like Andy, Sid, Alex, Carrie, Chris, and Poi. And Justin Fletcher, that almost everyone knows as Miss Tumble from Something Special, something like that. You guys already know that I do my own cartoons, the Single Dance Girls. Yeah, that's my first cartoon at the moment because there's no other animation I want to do or anything at the moment for the future or something like that. So yeah. Oh yeah, I want to mention I also like Matilda. She's my favorite as, for Ball Doll. I also like it as a book, but I usually like it as a movie. The original film back in from the 90s, but not the musical though, because the musical is okay, but not my thing. And I also remember Sesame Street. I remember that one. And it's because I remember I used to watch this film, and it's called Elmo in Grouchland. Oh, and I also like Doctor Who, Sarah Jane Adventures, and there are some few good shows I used to watch, well, still watch nowadays, but there are some few that I don't really intentionally to watch anymore, because I sometimes can be grow out of some of them, if you know what I mean here, and yeah. Oh yeah, and yes, I sometimes can share some of the stuff that, like, sharing some moments from films that I used to get scared of as a kid, and you probably have seen the one with the Ratatouille and the BFG. I am planning on doing some more about scary moments I used to get scared as a kid, something like that. Oh, and yes, I also like funny moments too. Let's just say funny moments is one of those things that we all like in life because we're just like giggling, like being all bubbly, something like that. Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, and Disney princesses, Barbie, Tinkerbell, Alvin the Chipmunks, well, Geppetto. And yes, there was so many. Oh, Tracy Beaker. Tracy Beaker, my favourite. Tell me about it. Yeah. Oh, I also used to like the Tweenies. I don't always watch it, but I just say I do sometimes watch some of the older episodes that I used to watch most of the time. But although, like I said before, that I don't really watch the, whatever. That's what I'm saying. And I also like Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig is just one of my favorite things to watch as a kid, and I still watch the older episodes of Peppa Pig, but I don't not really watch the new ones though. I can watch the new ones if I want, but I just prefer the older ones though, because I used to watch them as a kid and that, so I can't possibly blame me that. Yes. And yeah, I forgot to mention, Super Beast is not the only thing I used to watch as a kid, because this is another channel that is called CBBC and Milkshake and CTIV. Stuff like that. Yeah. And you know what I mentioned about DVDs and that? Well, let's just say I always have this sort of interest on watching those stuff again on YouTube because there are lots of people seem to upload those opening to the whatever which Disney film or whatever onto YouTube where you can actually watch the trailers before the actual film comes on or a TV show or whatsoever. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things because I used to have Disney VHS as a kid. I don't really have the VHS anymore because of my mum, took them away. Although I still got loads of DVDs still in the DVD cupboard, something like that. And I might as well talk about Milkshake sometimes in next few months, I think, or weeks, maybe. I don't know, but I will think about it. And I also might as well can upload a video about my favorite movies, but reviewing them as well. Because I have already done a videos of them with just pictures with no voice in it though. So what I'm saying that I might as well be making a review about what my favorite films or a TV show, something like that. Or did I already done a TV show? I think so. I can't remember now. Sorry, guys. It's quite complicated sometimes when you think about when you're trying to remember whether you did this or that sometimes, even though it's been like ages ago, something like that. Yeah. So anyway, oh yeah, actually nearly forgot. Just possibly before I could go, I also don't like bullying because bullying is just one of those things I never like in life, and I know some other people may agree with me with that point because bullying is just, I just don't think it's really necessary. Really, I just find it pointless and a waste of energy. And I did make a post about that anyway because my mom inspired me to tell everyone that we shouldn't really argue over a silly little thing, because it's just pointless. So I'm sorry for saying this, but it is true. So yes, I don't really like bullying anyway because it's just plain boring every time. Yeah, and it is kind of ridiculous anyway, especially all these crime things going along in anyway as well. Because I hate crimes like killing innocent people. I mean, seriously, what is wrong with these horrible people from out there? I mean, seriously, I sometimes I just can't understand why some people just like to kill innocent people when they didn't do anything wrong. I mean, yeah. Well, let's just say I remember something to do with. Well, I don't want to go any the whole details, but I remember something about what happened to Judith Barzi. She was only like 10 years old before she got killed by her, her abusive dad. But I don't want to talk about it because it just spooks me. Although that's funny in the other country, United States, back in the 80s. But like I said, I don't want to talk about it. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys can like my video. And if you did like my video, be free to comment. Or if you wanted to share your thoughts about yourself or anything, or whatever, be free to do so in the comments. And if you're new to my channel, be free to give her a like and subscribe to my channel, and also press the notification bell so you can receive my videos every day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone. Bye.